One of the most iconic West Coast groups in hip-hop history, Dogg Pound Gangsta Crip, are the authors of numerous tracks upheld as classics amongst the gangbang culture. But what many are unaware of is how throughout the years the group split up numerous times.
I don't know what's going on, Church.
The Dogg Pound broke up?
What's up, man? It's X. What's up with DPG, man?
Dance and Kurupt, everybody?
DPGC for life, right?
Only translating to a bitter dispute between one of the most lyrical rappers, Kurupt, and one of rap's biggest icons, Snoop Dogg.
Especially Kurupt.
But whatever I can do, Simon, whatever I need to do to get you your money back.
What happens when business moves break up families because one's secrets made it all the way to the Lakers locker room? This is the story of how two dogs became a part of an on-wax beef that could have became deadly.
DMX took it and made it his song.
He killed two of his bodyguards. They're trying to kill him. Killed two of his bodyguards.
And it all began with a fox. After Tupac died, his death would bring on an unpredictable chain of events. The label that generated over $1 billion for Interscope would go on a tumultuous downfall. That would end up being the end of the peak days for the label. After Dr. Dre, the first to jump ship would be Kurupt. While Kurupt speaks highly of his decision to leave Death Row and rarely brings up rejoining,
Well, Dr. Dre was the first to leave Death Row. I was the second.
there was a rumor on why he left in the first place.
Kurupt got stupid. We sent him on why they did a junior high school, promotions at a junior high school. But he went up to a junior high school. They pulled one of the little young girls under and didn't come home for a couple of days. Parents found out, which is a major crime in the state of California. Somehow that never came to light and went away.
To leave Death Row. That's when I went to Philly and made Entre.
Snoop would leave in a dramatic manner himself, being bought out from Knight's empire by Master P for millions. After doing a short stint in jail, Simon would be released in 2001. He would do whatever he could to make Death Row a threat again, but in the process, he would split up one of hip-hop's well-known groups, the Dogg Pound Gangsta Crips. While Snoop would go on to No Limit Records, Suge would make Kurupt vice president of The Row Records. Kurupt would claim that this would happen due to the fact that Snoop claimed to offer a hand that was never extended.
You know, Suge's always been solid with me. You know, so, you know, he was like, he gave me his blessing, which I thought was like, oh, it must be right. You know, and Suge was just like, well, you know, whatever you do, Kurupt, keep your business good, you know what I'm saying?
With Suge playing chess, this only ignited a quiet beef between Snoop and Kurupt that began just a couple years prior from a little-known romance he had going on with one of the East Coast's biggest female artists at the time, Foxy Brown. This allegedly would be just a part of an ongoing theme with the Dogg Pound Gangsta Crip.
She was 17 years old. That Kurupt and her started dating when she was 17 years of age in June of 1996. It was when I known and heard of her and Kurupt starting to date. That's because that was during the time, I guess him and Foxy hooked up when he had got sent home sometime in, I guess, March or April of 96 for, y'all know. And I just find it strange, man. I was like, damn. So this nigga is 24 years of age and he did this?
Through sources, Kurupt would find out that DMX and Foxy had an affair, even though Foxy and Kurupt were reportedly engaged.
People gonna call, man, Rick, you know, Foxy and DMX was in the studio. Foxy and DMX, this and that.
It was Eve who informed Kurupt. At the time, he probably wasn't aware of how Foxy was moving in the industry.
After the show, this is around the time when she was going with Kurupt. I don't know if they was married or not. So, but after the show, like we rocked hardcore, went into the hotel, and she gave me hardcore.
There will be a collab with DMX on Foxy's album called The Dog and the Fox. This would be a deal breaker with Kurupt, claiming it was his idea to do a joint album with Foxy that was reported to have the same name.
Then she took one of my concepts. We was gonna make a record called The Dog and the Fox.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she went and did it with Earl.
Do me one small favor before we continue. Please apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button. Around this time, Kurupt will release one of the greatest gangbang albums of the 90s, The Streets Is a Mother. What would overshadow its release is it was released on the same day as Chronic 2001, Dre's masterpiece. But on this album was a bonus track that will become one of the most underrated diss tracks known, Calling Out Names. I'ma start calling y'all niggas by name. It would not take long for Kurupt to get straight to the point, calling DMX out clearly while showing love to fellow West Coast artists such as RBX and Exhibit.
Fuck D, M, only X I know is Exhibit or RBX.
He would also use this to send shots at other East Coast artists.
Death Squad and Def Jam, Ja Rule, or Gotti out just to come to the West Coast and get stripped down. Beat to death, strip all over a bitch. Only thing I like that ride rough is E and all the rest.
At the time, Foxy was in a group called The Firm with AZ, Nature, Cormega, and Nas Escobar. During an interview, Nas would state that Foxy should be in a relationship with the New Yorker.
Then Nas didn't approve of us at first. He got it on Double XL, and Double XL responded to Foxy and Kurupt. And, you know, it was like, kind of like, you know, she should be with somebody from New York, you know, so he wasn't really dissing, but he wasn't approval of her being with Kurupt. So then I just felt like New York just picking on me, man.
This would cause for Kurupt to throw The Firm in there at the end of the song.
Fuck Rough Rider, fuck The Firm.
The song will be a standout from the album with other bangers like Girls All Pause and Who Ride With Us. After dropping Calling Out Names, Kurupt would be involved in a fatal altercation at Echo Studios outside of LA, where a bodyguard will be killed.
Big draws. He died from his gunshot wounds.
Big U's own brother.
Suge Knight was, you know, Suge Knight was who it was. And Big U, who named, you know, was who it was. And I think those two somehow connected from that. It's a Mexican guy that actually got arrested for the shooting and the murder, the homicide. He's in prison now.
The killing had nothing to do with DMX, but rather a street beef going on with Death Row Records.
So I don't know if this guy was mad because they was in his territory or his neighborhood. If one of them got into it with him at the liquor store or in the area, he just didn't like Black, Pyru, or gang members because it was both Bloods and Crips there. Keto Rock was there, Big C Style was there. But this dude rode by on a motorcycle and let them have it. Shot them all up with an AK-47.
At the time, Kurupt would blame the shooting on DMX.
He killed two of his bodyguards. They were trying to kill him. Killed two of his bodyguards. They blamed it on me because he made a song about me. Even though nobody really heard the song, you know. This dumb whack, you know, being that he made a song about me, I had to be the one doing it. I'm not pissed off at a whack.
Though DMX had nothing to do with the shooting, he had his own revenge in mind. He would make one of the most heralded party songs of his impressive catalog and include a furious subliminals aimed at Kurupt that would hit hard amongst everyone in the knowing.
You whack, you twisted, your girl's a hoe. You broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody knows your own man say you stupid.
But failing to mention his name, making sure Kurupt would not be able to take advantage of the recognition.
I think what was crazy was when I found out that Party Up was the answer to calling out names.
Right. You be like, so, I love my baby mother. I never let her go. I'm tired of running
over here stuck on Party Up being a response record.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a Party Up is
him
a response.
and Kurupt was at it.
Yeah, to Kurupt.
So it's like you whack, you twisted, like
yeah, your girl's a hoe.
Man, so I love my baby mama, I never let her go.
Yeah.
The hype from the song will be overwhelming at the least. The dagger would be when the Lakers won the 2000 championship. They chose the Dogg song to celebrate.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here.
What's worse is the lyrics of the song had details of a story that wasn't everyday knowledge. The question would be, who fed DMX this information?
So in the song, Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind by DMX, clearly we all know he was talking about Kurupt. At the time he was engaged and he was mad because allegedly Foxy Brown was running around New York sleeping with everybody, cheating on him.
And she gave me hardcore.
So he dropped Calling Out Names. In that song he mentioned DMX. In response, DMX dropped "Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind." In the section where he says, "You whack, you stupid, girls a hoe," he was talking about Foxy Brown. "You broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know." He was talking about a girl at the time that was claiming that she had Kurupt's baby, and all of his friends was telling him it wasn't his kid, and he was so desperate to have this kid in his life that he was claiming this child. And when he says, "Your own mans think you stupid," be like, "So I love my baby mama, I never let her go." He was talking about Snoop. Snoop told DMX all the info on Kurupt. DMX took it and made a diss song.
Definitely cold, but this would only start the confusion between Snoop and Kurupt. The salt on the wound would be Snoop, appearing on the Rough Riders compilation album, which would blindside Kurupt.
Check us out. Let's make this official. Shine your boots. Pull out your best potential.
After being humbled by DMX, watching Snoop continue his career with No Limit Records, Kurupt would make a move not taken kindly by Daz and Snoop.
When Suge got out, we had a healthy conversation, and he offered me a position, and I took the position. It's something I wanted to do at that time. I really didn't feel like, I think I was over rapping. It was boring to me. Performing was boring. I mean, it was just, there was something else out there for me, and I just wasn't feeling right until I explored it.
Knight will be released and start a label called The Roll in an attempt to rebrand a name that took too many PR hits at that point. After being disgusted by reasons previously spoken, there was a debt still on the table between him and Kurupt.
Kurupt like, yeah. But whatever I can do, Simon, whatever I need to do to get you your money back. And then Suge was like, all right.
With Daz and Snoop freed from his grasp, it began to make perfect sense for him to not only bring back Kurupt, but also make him president in a move sure to piss off Daz and Snoop.
Simon hollered at me, man. Suge hollered at me, you know what I mean? He want to do some real business. I ain't got no problem with the real business. The rest of the people in the world been trying to shortchange me and Delmar for I don't know how long. Me and Daz ain't going for that shortchange.
He been shortchanging us for years.
He just had to work out a deal with the 60s Crip, who had Kurupt on verbal management since his youth.
There were the dudes that used to hang with Kurupt and probably had them signed to him. You know how you had the homeboy handshake agreements. They were from 60 Crips, and they had some money allegedly invested in Kurupt. But Kurupt was a juvenile. Kurupt was only like 16 or 17 years of age.
This would put him directly in the middle of a potentially violent dispute between Snoop and Suge, who had several run-ins that almost got active, including a hostile confrontation at the BET Awards.
And, you know, that cost, because my friends, you know, my family really didn't agree with that decision, but I just had to get it out my system. And
these will be the darkest days for the Dogg Pound group.
Nigga, they put that on the internet, nigga, and then they took it off. Yes.
A visibly agitated Daz would attempt to get Kurupt to change course.
Ain't over there owning his records, somebody else owning them. You know what I mean?
Kurupt, the newest member of Death Row. He returns back home to daddy. So what you got to say about it? Is it true?
We want $3 million, me and Daz, from the gate.
From who?
No, anybody that's kicking it. Don't play with us.
They gonna give you $100,000 until you come back tomorrow.
Now they gonna give you $100,000.
They gonna give me no $100,000. I ain't taking it. I'm gonna go rob a bank. Man, I'm not fucking with Death Row.
Man, this ain't about Death Row. This ain't about
It's about that.
Nigga,
get on your computer right now, nigga, and go check out what they saying right now, nigga. Your fan base is going zoom. Nigga, it's going down on the internet.
Don't fuck about their fan base. Nigga, give me $3 million.
We need that bread. Everybody all on shit. Like, what's that? What is it? Shut the f.
Yo, what's up? This Daz Dylan.
If I did decide to do it, the f you gonna do about it, punk?
I see him again in traffic.
So if he called and apologized.
He been trying to call me. I just never. I just keep on like, yo, I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? And I just don't talk to him. I ain't talk to him. Yeah, he been calling, crying, making the song I didn't change. Talk a little shit in the beginning, but at the end of the song, I love you, cuz. You know what I mean? So I ain't fucking with him. I don't need to. I'm waiting for you to put another record out because I'm partners with his boss, which is Entre. You know what I mean? Who he put records out with. And that's who helped me do what I need to do on OCF to get this $25 million from Suge in there.
All this to no avail. One of the first shots on wax would come from Snoop's track, Pimp Slap,
and play for him. This nigga's a bitch like his wife. Suge Knight's a bitch, and that's on my life.
Where he would go at Simon and everyone tied to the new label.
Cause I fucked every last one of them up, especially Kurupt. See, that's my little homeboy, so he know what's up.
In the video, with his cousin Daz by his side, it will be clear that Kurupt will be left in isolation.
You better keep tripping and slip his clip in, cause these niggas tripping.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Snoop's the first gay banger.
Not to be known to run from battles, Kurupt will cook up his own response, going back at Snoop and his Dogg Pound mate, Daz.
Daz, whack ass records, whack ass Daz, goofy fast.
No Vaseline 2.
You went from death row to doing porn to popping Chris with piss in it.
Though recorded in 2004, this track would not initially be released due to a West Coast peace conference started by Snoop for all West Coast factions to put aside any beefs and come together. Cam, Ice Cube, and The Game would also use this conference to settle all arguments.
For the West Coast, it's West Coast business, you know what I'm saying? What happens on the West Coast stays on the West Coast.
Snoop would also attempt to bring together himself with Dr. Dre and Suge, with the latter two being a no-show. For the time being, Kurupt would keep the peace, but down the line, he would fall out with Daz again. Eventually, free himself from death row in 2005, conveniently around the time where his man...
And Kurupt was the first artist that you started working with?
Kurupt, I was messing with in 1990.
Kurupt, leaving the most dangerous record label, but back into the hands of the most dangerous Crip.
And I think when Big Hugh came home, I don't know when he came home, I think it was sometime in the mid-2000s, early 2000s.
It probably would never even been a death row if I'd have been home.
Okay.
Fact.
Over time, his disputes with Snoop will be settled behind closed doors. As for his DMX beef, that will be solved by a random run-in at the airport.
Because, you know, we missed our flight just sitting there chopping it with each other like, fuck that flight. We'll get new ones. And just stayed there all night in the airport chopping up game, cuz, and it was great. And we've been great ever since. I'm glad I did that before he passed away.
Kurupt's shattered friendship with Daz wouldn't be repaired until Snoop stepped in.
So I'm sitting there and he called Kurupt over. I didn't know he was calling Kurupt over. Because I had blocked Kurupt on Instagram.
Jesus.
Snoop would decide to buy Death Row Records.
Hey, let me holler at y'all. How much for that? I want all of them, not just mine, all of them. What about the publisher? I need all of that too.
And the first song recorded on the record label would be from the Dogg Pound.
I looked at Dogg and he's on the what's that, the board, and he just looked back and smiled.
Right.
And then he looked back. I said, "You two motherfuckers."
And then he put the beat on.
It was over.
The song was done in like 8-9 minutes.
This would decisively end an on and off dispute and reunite one of the most iconic West Coast groups who fell out from a list of reasons, but started with a fling between two artists that will eventually never work. Thank you for watching this documentary. And if you really like it, you'll like my other short form and long form documentaries that you can find right here. Also, check out my documentary on Big U. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxie Approved, right? With that water. I'll see y'all here next time on Moxie Approved.